Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today is day 8 of our 100 days 100 AWS project series. So in day 8 we will be doing a project for getting backup and restore of EC2 servers using EBS Snapshot. Before moving to the explanation part, let's start with my new website I have created for you to traverse through the steps and to get to know what are the steps to take for the videos and projects. So this is the website. I will paste the link in the description. So every time you don't need to go to the GitHub and check the README file. Here you just need to go to YouTube courses, 100 days of 100 AWS project here, and in the course of time if I upload a new playlist it will pop up here. So here you need to select the video you are watching. So currently we are at day 8, so I already uploaded the new content of day 8. So let's start. So day 8 we will be doing data persistence with the EBS snapshot. So before moving to that, let's understand what is EBS and EBS snapshot and what's the difference. So EBS is like a volume. So it is pronounced as elastic block store. Volume is a network drive you can attach to your instance while they run. So basically EBS acts as a volume, or you can say disk, which will be attached to your EC2 instance so that you can persist data. So it allows your instance to persist data even after their termination. So even if you terminate or delete your instance, the data will still persist whatever you have stored in the disk. They can only be mounted to one instance at a time. So only one EBS disk will be attached to a EC2 instance. So they are bound to a specific availability zone, so you can't create a, or my bad, you can't attach a EBS volume to other availability zone EC2. You have to keep it in the same AZ. Think of them as a USB network drive. So to make it easy, I will take example of camera. So in camera we'll have multiple things. So assume EBS as the SD card. So it is physically plugged into the camera, which is your EC2 instance. So EBS is like a SD card plugged to your camera, which is used to store data. It's where the photos and actually stored while you are shooting. So it will be live data storing. If you take the SD card out and put it into laptop, like suppose laptop is another EC2, so the photos will be still there because you are storing the data. The main crucial point is if you lost the SD card, the photos are gone forever. So here comes the EBS snapshot. Snapshots are like Google Photos or cloud backup. So snapshot is a digital copy of everything on that SD card at a specific amount. So if you are if you have a database or anything in your EC2 instance at that time of at that point, whatever data is there, it will be stored in the snapshot if you take it. So even if you delete the snapshot or even if you delete the SD card, still you will have photos in your Google Drive and still you will have data in your snapshot, which you can create a new volume and attach to the EC2 instance. So I guess you got an overview idea of what is EBS and EBS snapshot. Now let's move on to our project. So in this project we will be using MySQL database to store database files and to create some table which is a sample employee table. We'll install a database engine, store data on EBS volume, then we'll create a snapshot, destroy it, and create a new EC2 instance, then recover the database by attaching the volume created by the recovered snapshot. So let's start. So this is the first phase. So here we'll simply first create a EC2 instance with a root volume, which will be default volume with Amazon Linux. To make it best production practice, we will attach a new volume for particular database. So we'll create a new data volume, which will be for MySQL data. Then we will mount it in our EC2 instance. So when we mount the disk, we will install MariaDB, a simple lightweight MySQL database, and we will add some queries and execute it. Then we will create a snapshot and it will be stored in S3 automatically. We don't need to do anything. It will be handled by AWS. Then we will come to second phase. Here, if we delete the EC2 instance, Snapshot will survive like Google Photos in the camera. Then we will just create a new volume from the snapshot and we'll create a new EC2 instance, and we can recover our MariaDB data, which is MySQL database. So I've already mentioned all the steps here. So let's start with the steps, and I will follow this documentation from my website only. So let's come to our AWS console. Here today we will not be using Code Cloud account because it restricts us to create volume from the snapshot. So we will use my free tier account. So you can create your free tier account. There are many tutorials how to create free tier account. So we will go to our EC2 instance first, because at start we need the EC2 instance and a volume to create a snapshot. So first we'll come to our EC2 instance. We'll launch a EC2 instance. So we will name it as test, or we can name it as day 8 first phase. We'll use Amazon Linux by default and we'll keep everything default. I already created a key value pair fact of fact, so you don't need to use the default one because it is not secured. You need to create a new key value pair. If you want to know how to create and how to log in and what are the errors, if you need to encounter it, you can watch my day 1 video where I have explained everything. So I will select everything default here. For the sake, we'll keep it 000. Then here we don't need to configure anything. We'll just select launch instance. So yeah, our instance is created. We'll come to our console page. So if you refresh it, our EC2 instance is created. Now let's come to our documentation. We now need to create a new volume. If you see, this EC2 instance is already attached to the volume, which is we already default 8 GB we created during our launch instance, but we'll add a new volume for specific database, which is MySQL. So we will select EBS volume with xvdbf as a type. So let's start. We'll give 5 GB as a storage. So we'll come here on the sidebar volume. We need to create one more volume. So click on create volume. Here you need to specify 5 gigs. Keep it default everything. You can select availability zone. So I will select availability zone as AP South 1A, and that's all. We can give a tag name. So I will give a tag name as uh, day 08 database. You can give any tag name. So I'll create volume. So it will take some time to create a volume. Yeah, I will just minimize it. So yeah, you can see it is in available state, but currently it is not attached to the EC2 instance. So we need to attach it to the EC2 instance. So we need to we already create the EBS volume, then we need to attach it to the EC2 instance. So we will just click on the volume, then we'll do actions. Here you can see attach volume option. You just need to select the instance, which is day 8 first phase, and here you need to specify the device name, which I already mentioned here. Just a second. Yeah, here is the device name. So here you just paste the device name, select it, then you just click on attach volume. Now if you see, it's currently in use for the EC2 instance. So if you go here, if you go to storage, here you can see both are attached to the EC2 instance, but we can't use it. We need to mount on the disk. So we need to use that uh, disk as uh, data directory. So we will mount the drive to the MySQL data directory. So let's go to terminal and log into our EC2 instance. Yeah, so here we are in our terminal. So I will just SSH into the EC2 instance. I already have my PEM file ready, which is only have read permission, so I will ssh -i, just specify the PEM file, and we have used EC2 as user, which will be default by Amazon Linux. So we will just need to copy our public IP. So we'll copy public IP, then we'll paste it here, click on yes. So now we are into our Amazon Linux instance. So here I will just do it by side. Yeah, now we are in our Amazon Linux. Okay, I will just, so first of all, we need to check if it is attached or not. We'll use ls blk. So yeah, here you can see NVMe1NV. It is a convention for the Amazon EC2. So sorry, for EBS. So this currently disk is not mounted, so we need to mount it. If you see its uses by -f flag, so you see it is not currently used, so it is not under the f use percentage. Here first we'll just format it to so that it doesn't have any data currently. So now it is formatted. Now we need to mount it in the where lab MySQL directory. So we'll create a new MySQL directory where if we install MariaDB, it will store the data in MySQL directory. So we need to create the directory. So MySQL directory is created. Now we'll mount the hard drive, or sorry, not hard drive, EBS volume to that directory. So we just will mount it. Let me copy it. Now it is mounted. Now we can do ls blk -f. Now you can see it is mounted and it is 1% used. Here you can see 4.9 GB is available. Later you will see when we added our data, it will just get filled up around 2 or 3%. We'll see it. See, here I mentioned you cannot skip the mount step. It is very necessary. Now we need to update our package repo. So I will update. It will take some time.
One eternity later.
Yeah, now it is completed updated. Now we will install our MariaDB server. Yeah, MariaDB server is installed. Now we'll start MariaDB. Now we will enable it so that it will create a symlink. Yeah, now it is enabled. If you do sudo system ctl status MariaDB, you will see it is enabled and it is currently running. So now we will, I already created the script. You just need to run this script. So it is just basically creating a company table and creating a database called company DB and creating a table employees. Then it will insert data into the employees, just 3 names, and it will just select the employee table to show if it's working or not. Before that, you need to go to the MySQL console. So just I will see. So you need to do sudo MySQL. Now you can see it is connected to our MariaDB. So we'll run our script here. So you can see everything is okay, everything is created. If we do enter, you can see our employee table is created. Now it has the data. Now our EC2 instance is acting as a database. Now we'll do exit. Now it's time for creating our snapshot. So that if the EC2 instance dies, so we will have database backup. So we will come to our console and click on the snapshots. There is currently one snapshot which I have created earlier. Just ignore this snapshot. We'll create a new snapshot. We need to specify the volume ID, which is which volume we need to create a snapshot of. So I will just go to volumes. Here we need to create for 5 GB only. We don't need our EC2 base server OS snapshot. We just need our database backup. So I will select this. I will copy this volume ID. Again, I will come to snapshots, create snapshot. I will just paste the ID. So select that. If you want to specify description, you can specify. I will add a new tag saying, I think added a convention name or not. Yeah, tag it as day8 db backup. So I will tag it. I'll give it backup day8. Just create snapshot. Yeah, so it is in pending state. It will take few time to create it. I will just delete my previous one. Actions, delete snapshot. Yeah, so currently it is in pending state. It will take some time to create.
One eternity later.
Yeah, so our snapshot is created and status is complete and it is 100% completed. So if you can see, snapshot size is increased. Now if you come to our EC2 instance, we just need to terminate it. So log out. So now we will move to our phase 2 because phase 1 is already completed. We created snapshot and it will be automatically stored in the S3 snapshot storage. So now we need to terminate our EC2 instance and delete the volumes which are associated with it. So we'll come to our instances. We'll just click on the instance and delete the instance. I mean terminate the instance. You can terminate it. So it will take some time to terminate. So if you wait for a few time, you will see the default snapshot will go away. So we need to remove this 5 GB which we created for database. We need to also remove this so that we can see it is completely terminated, everything is vanished. Still we can use snapshot to get backup. Now you can see first one is deleted, the default one, and the 5 GB database snapshot, sorry, volume is now in available state. It is not in use state, so we can delete it. Just action, delete volume, just type delete. Make sure you are in volume, not in snapshot. Now your volume is deleted, so there is nothing in the instance. Everything is, it is terminated. So I will just keep filter as running state. So no EC2 instance is in running state. Now we will create a new volume from our snapshot. So we'll come to our snapshots. We'll select the snapshot which I have already created. So if you can see, here is the snapshot which has taken size of 76 MB out of 5 GB because we don't need to add so much data. Small data is enough to check if it's giving the restore of data. So we will click on the actions. We'll click on the create volume from snapshot. So it will create volume from this snapshot. We'll keep everything default and we can add a new tag, day 08 restore. We'll click on create volume. If you come to volumes, and now you can see it is created and it is available state. It is not currently in use, so it is initializing state. Now we'll come to our instances. Now we need to create a new EC2 instance and we need to install MariaDB. Then we'll attach our volume. So we'll come to launch instance. Here we will specify as day 08 restore. We'll keep everything default. Key value pair, choose the one you have already created for the previous EC2, so you don't need to give permissions and change permission for read and write, so it will not bother you. Just click on launch instance. We'll keep EBS volume default at 8 GB. So if I do refresh, you can see our EC2 instance is in running state. Just copy the IP. Now come to our terminal. I'll just do double screen and I'll just do SSH with the new IP. we'll do yes. Now everything is fine. Now it is running. We can SSH into this instance. Now we need to update our package repository. So we'll do sudo dnf update -y. Whatever steps we have taken here, we need to do it again to enable MariaDB service and start MariaDB service. So it will take some time. Yeah, now it is updated. Now we'll install MariaDB. Now we'll start MariaDB service and also enable the service. We'll just confirm it. Sudo systemctl status MariaDB. Now it is enabled and it is in currently running state. Now again, if you can see, we need to attach the volume to the EC2 instance. So we'll come to our console. We'll click on volumes. So if you now refresh, there will be two volumes. One is default of EC2 and one is the database backup. So we'll click on that volume which is in available state. We need to click on actions. We need to attach it to the EC2 instance. So we'll click on attach volume. Now we need to select the instance and we need to specify the device name as /dev, which I have already xvdbf, which I have already mentioned here. Just a second. Yeah, here it is there, dev xvdbf. Click on attach volume. Now it is in use state. If you go to our EC2 instance, if you do lsblk -f, so currently it is attached but it is not mounted, so we need to mount it. So we will go to our page. Now we need to just simply mount it before we mounted in the previous EC2 instance. Uh, so we will mount our disk to MySQL directory. Now we will start the MariaDB service. Yeah, so we need to after mounting the disk, we need to restart our MariaDB service. So we'll do sudo systemctl restart MariaDB. Now if you go to log into sudo MySQL, now we are in our MariaDB database. If you we need to select our database, so we'll do use company DB. So now our company database. So we'll select our employee table. Now you can see in our new EC2 instance, our employee table exists. So we have successfully taken the backup of the snapshot. So we have completed our project. So we have successfully taken snapshot out of our project. So if you want to join for the other video, it is the similar concept. So in the next video, I will give you an intro to AMI, Amazon Machine Image. So what it is. So it will take complete backup of the machine. So you don't need to go to all mounting and any stuff. So it will be direct, and this has a better feature. You can directly expose the AMI to another account also. That will also I show you in the next video. So kindly tune to the next video and like, share and subscribe. Thank you. And keep the EC2 instance ready if you want to again join for the new video which I will pasting in the next day. So if you don't want, just delete the instances and snapshot because it will cost you money. Thank you. Like, share and subscribe.